There are 6 stages of the mountain of motor development: reflexive, pre-adaptive, fundamental patterns, context-specific, skillful, and compensation.
As a parent, you will watch your child go through these different phases of the mountain. Keep in mind your child will have to climb many mountains for all the different skills he or she will obtain. Do not be too concerned with your child's exact age when they obtain different motor milestones, as development is age-related and not age-dependent. However, if your child seems to be having extreme abnormalities in achieving different motor milestones, you should consider talking to your pediatrician. The mountain of motor development is sequential, individual, multifactorial, and cumulative. An individual climbs the mountain range across the lifespan.
The first stage of the mountain of motor development is the reflexive period.
This period occurs from the 3rd gestational month to 2 weeks post-birth. This stage includes both reflexive and spontaneous movements. Reflexes are stereotypical responses to certain stimuli. Spontaneous movements do not seem to be caused by external stimuli. The end of this period is signaled by voluntary movement.
The next stage of the mountain that your child will enter is the pre-adaptive period.
This period occurs from 2 weeks post-birth to 1 year. In this stage, your child will demonstrate phylogenetic movements. In other words, these movements are present in all children across the world, regardless of environment. This period is very sensitive to individual and biological constraints and ends with self-feeding and independent walking.
After your child has left the pre-adapted period, he or she will enter the fundamental patterns period.
This period occurs from 1 to 7 years of age. Movements are still phylogenetic, but are the building blocks for later activities. This is also known as the base camp because it is returned to when learning a new skill or behavior. The types of movements your child will perform during this period include locomotion, coordination, and manipulation of objects. The transition out of this period is applying movements to a context.
The next stage of the mountain of motor development that we will look at is context-specific.
Most children will be in this phase from 7 to 11 years of age. Your child will take skills developed in the previous stage and combine them under certain roles to perform various tasks. The goal of this period is to become skillful. Movements during the context-specific period are individually, culturally, and socially influenced. The transition out of this phase is signaled by skillfulness.
The next stage is skillful.
The skillful phase is obtained at 11 years of age and older. Movements during this period are adaptive, consistent, and efficient. Some people may never reach the skillful stages for certain activities.
Our final stage is compensation.
Compensation occurs throughout the mountain of motor development. The age of onset of compensation depends on the cause of the need for compensation. It can be either aging-associated or injury-induced. All individuals will undergo aging-associated changes and constraints, but only some individuals will go into a compensation period due to injury. In conclusion, knowing the different stages of the mountain of motor development will help you to better understand the motor development of your child. It is important for parents such as yourself to have realistic expectations about their child's capabilities. Knowing this mountain will help you to set realistic expectations.